Are you equipped to safely reopen your sports organization? A lot of our shared group activities have been limited or completely cut off due to COVID-19. One area in particular is sports organizations. While coaches have been able to offer individual training, many leagues and clubs have stopped their group activities. Although doing so helps from a safety standpoint, a lot of people's relationship-building opportunities, like sports, have been put on hold. So many people are excited and eager to get back to team training, competitions, and watching their favorite teams play. Reopening can seem daunting, especially when you're trying to keep your athletes, fans, and staff safe. I'm Alex with Jotform, and in today's video, we'll discuss 10 of the key guidelines you should follow to safely manage your sports reopening. Let's play ball. First up, you want to be well prepared for your reopening. This means being familiar with the specific COVID regulations in your country, state, and region. This info is usually found by a simple Google search. Just look up your city councils and state governments' websites. They will certainly have regulations posted. Once you have a good feel for how things are being handled in your area, you can start organizing your reopening process. Liability waivers have become a lot of organizations' best friends. When a participant or responsible adult signs a liability waiver form, then all legal responsibility has been transferred to them. Signing a waiver means they understand all the risks associated with participating. Jotform has a customizable liability waiver form that will definitely come in handy. This form covers you and your facilities from legal action if a participant or attendee falls ill. With all of the safety regulations you'll be implementing, the hope is that no one gets sick at your facility. However, in the case that someone should contract COVID, it's best practice to have a plan in place. This is why building a contact tracing plan is so important. Having a contact tracing plan means all of your participants and staff members can be notified if they've come into contact with an infected individual. So how does this work? You'll want to collect contact info from everyone, parent, participant, staff member, and have a contact tracing form on standby. Then, later, if someone shows symptoms, you can complete the form and then notify all others who were participating during that same time. In order to reopen your sports organization, you may have to reconsider how many people you allow to participate, as well as the number of people spectating and working in your facility. The CDC has stated that the virus is more likely to spread between people who are in close contact, so limiting the number of people is a safe step to take. Perhaps the answer at your organization is to limit the number of people per training session, but offer a high number of training sessions overall. Making sure you stick to your participant limitations, you can offer availability online or a first-come, first-served basis. However, once your spots are filled, they're filled. Another great step to take in successfully and safely reopening your sports organization is to create quarantine bubbles. You could borrow a page from the NBA and NHL playbook and ask your teams and coaches to form individual team bubbles. This way, the players and coaches avoid coming into contact with others who could potentially spread COVID to them. Although it seems simple enough, this could be a hard rule to enforce as younger participants might not have the maturity to responsibly quarantine from others. After implementing some necessary safety forms, limiting participant numbers, or even team quarantining, it's time to facilitate a safe environment during games, practices, and events. One way to do this is to carve out some time to explain your protocols and participant expectations at the beginning of each new session. This way, everyone involved is on the same page. Participants, parents, and staff members alike can feel at ease understanding their own responsibilities in keeping the environment and everyone around them safe. When you start a new session, ask participants and staff to complete a screening form. These forms are specific to COVID-19 symptoms, and if someone's screening results indicate that they're experiencing COVID-related symptoms, you can ask them not to join and instead seek medical advice. Since these forms can include some sensitive information, you must handle them securely and in ways that align with HIPAA privacy regulations. Jotform has a handful of customizable forms perfect for this step. You can use the coronavirus self-assessment form, the coronavirus screening form, and the employee's COVID-19 screening checklist to make sure everyone is being safe. Since COVID-19 took over our lives, we've become very familiar with the term social distancing. You can implement physical distancing within your sports organization as much as possible. When participants aren't exercising or participating in group play, encourage them to stand 6 feet apart from each other. Make this step easy by marking one-way routes throughout your facility, space out seating areas with signs, and designate physically distanced player benches. It can be very tough to get kids to understand the importance of physically distancing. Also, in contact sports, physically distancing can seem impossible. This is why implementing a mask mandate is key to safely reopening your sports organization. If you want to keep your doors open and minimize the risk of spreading the virus, ask participants who aren't exercising to wear a mask. Make sure your coaches and staff are covering their faces while working as well. The last and most important line of defense is to disinfect regularly. Make sure your staff disinfects all high-touch surfaces like door handles and handrails frequently. Also, make sure any shared equipment is disinfected thoroughly throughout the day. Have lots of hand sanitizer available so participants, parents, staff, and coaches can do their part to clean their hands before and after sessions. These safety protocols might seem to be a bit overwhelming, but the important part is taking your safety implementation a step at a time. Let's do a quick review. Here are 10 safety steps for you to take during your reopening process. Be prepared by knowing state and local safety guidelines. Collect signed liability waivers. Build a contact tracing plan. Restrict the number of attendees. Consider setting up quarantine bubbles. Provide a safe environment during practices and games. Screen participants for symptoms, encourage physical distancing, make masks mandatory, and disinfect regularly. I'm Alex with Jotform. Thanks for watching.